In this video, I'm going to show you a full tutorial of the BQool AI Repricer for Amazon FBA. I started using BQool 2 years ago when I was getting started, and it's helped me generate over $4 million in revenue since then. We're going to talk about what repricing is, the different BQool plans, how you can get started with it today, as well as an exclusive giveaway at the end of the video. I also do want to mention the link in the description is an affiliate link that's going to give you guys an extra 2 weeks free with BQool. So if you just go to bqool.com and get a free trial, you're going to get about 2 weeks. However, if you use the link in the description, you're actually going to get a free month. So thanks to BQool for doing that for us. If you're going to sign up, make sure you use that link so you can save some money, get some extra time on BQool. Let's get right into the video.
Samuel, thanks for joining me, man. Excited to talk all things BQool today and give the audience a full BQool AI Repricer tutorial.
Hey, Miles, thanks for the warm introduction. I'm super happy to share multiple winning repricing strategies to help you win the Amazon BuyBox and give you selling tips on Amazon as well. We also want to share who BQool is with the people who don't know who we are, and we're here to provide a ton of value to your community and to help everyone who's watching this video to get better results. And make sure to stay until the very end. We'll be announcing a lucky draw and an opportunity for you to win 1 full year of AI repricing that's worth $1,200.
Sweet, let's get into it.
I'm going to quickly explain who BQool is for people who don't know us. We are the repricing experts, and we have a large team of in-house AI engineers with more than 50 people, and we have one of the highest R&D ratio in the industry. And we're number one by market share, the number of users, by the data that we collected, and also we're number one on the Amazon App Store and other review sites that you can just go check. We're the only ones with a case study on the Amazon website, and we're invite only in the Marketplace Development Council. Just the other day, I was visiting Amazon. And when you compare us against other repricers on the market, we don't give you a high paywall. We offer the highest value. You don't need overkill, especially with all the high fees based on the sales. And we also have multiple AI rules depending on the aggressiveness. If you're coming from another repricer, you could also provide you with an account manager for higher ticket sellers.
Sweet.
So we also have a lot of 8-figure sellers using BQool as well as smaller sellers. So it's for everybody. So we have sellers of all sizes. We are Amazon sellers ourselves. So we help manage also large Amazon seller accounts. So we understand the seller pain points and we listen. And we also have a very affordable repricing from $25 with rule-based. And then at $50, you have AI and conditional repricing, and then $100 and up.
Sweet. Yeah. So we're excited to talk all about that and actually go ahead and take a look inside BQool, how you guys can go set it up, everything that's offered and everything like that.
Let me talk a little bit about how to win the BuyBox. And there's several different factors that go into place. First of all, you need to have a professional seller account. And then second, you need to have available stock. And also, you're going to get the 3 most important factors is definitely your price and also who is selling, like whether you're FBA or FBM. FBA definitely have an advantage because you're using Amazon's warehouse and all the other supplies. And then also, you need to be selling for usually at least 1 or 2 months. So you're not non-featured seller. You're able to win the BuyBox. And there's also other parameters that, for example, the order defect rate has to be under 1%, late shipment rate under 4%. There's all these other more minor factors for high-performing metrics. And the most important thing, you got to use the BQool Repricer.
And now we're going to talk about some repricing rules that are just examples of stuff you can use within BQool to get more sales on Amazon.
Yeah, so we have 3 different sets of repricing rules. And the best one is to use the AI-powered repricer or the conditional repricer. But we're very affordable. We start at $25. And the first question is, when should you get a repricer? So there's different thoughts about this. In my recommendation, if you have more than 50 to 100 listings, and when you are starting out, it's also important to get a repricer so you have a higher chance to get into the BuyBox. Now, for rule-based, would recommend you to match the BuyBox. And that's what a lot of people like to do. And you can also set default customs. Now, for AI-powered, there's some advantages such as incremental repricing, and you get a higher BuyBox. Miles, I want to ask you, what type of repricing rules do you use?
Yeah, so I use the typically just the AI, typically the sales equalizer version on that, and mess around with the minimums and maximums a little bit. Although I do want to add some of the conditional ones thus far, I've really just standardized it with sales equalizer basically. And I agree in terms of like when you should actually go ahead and get a repricer. I actually think it should be a little bit earlier, right? Because especially using that free month that luckily you guys have given to my audience, basically, that's going to get them there a lot quicker and allow them to sign up like today, for example, and then not need to pay for it for a whole month. So you can get a lot done in that period in terms of making progress and learning stuff like that. So like pretty quickly, especially just with how affordable it is, I would say for sure.
Hey guys, if you're watching this, if you don't remember anything, do the free trial below and use Miles' link. Yeah, Miles gets you an extra 16 days on top of the regular 14-day free trial. And the best part, no credit card, no interviews. You can start right away and you can connect to your Amazon store right away. Earlier, somebody asked about rules for FBM. And you might have your thoughts about this, Miles. They ask, how do you set the rules for FBM compared to FBA or compared to Amazon? And this is what our opinion is based on our sales or the results that we've seen from our sellers is usually you want to price 10 cents lower than FBA, and you got to be about 3% lower than Amazon for items at around $25. Of course, it depends on the competition and also on that specific product. What are your thoughts, Miles?
Yeah, it's so dependent on the specific product. For example, a lot of the stuff that I'll go ahead and sell FBM is typically very high velocity stuff, right? So I'm typically, like you said, a little bit below, the FBA people, but on super high velocity listings, the price is also changing intraday so quickly. Different people are getting the buy box and everything that honestly, cumulatively, it ends up being just about the exact same price of the FBA stuff. However, that's on super quick selling listings that are getting FBM buy box share, which is definitely not all listings.
I agree with Miles. Like he's the expert here. And what I want to share a little bit is about the AI model that we have. If you're looking at a repricer, and the most important thing, because there's a lot of new AI things that are out. For example, Chat GPT, and then also a bunch of Chrome extensions. And what's really popular is also the prompts. So you could check out my LinkedIn. I could tell people what prompts to use for Chat GPT. But what's important is for BQool, when you're looking at an AI model, you need to build your own model first. This is based on the FTC guidelines, the Federal Trade Commission's guidelines of what true AI is. So first of all, you need to have a model with different variables. Second, you don't want to have exaggerated results. You need to have enough data for a large enough sample size. Also, what's really important is there's machine learning, so you can continue to improve your performance. One way to check is also if you're repricing by different amounts, not always the same amount, because then that means it's programmed to be the same amount. And then also the difference between our AI model and let's say ChatGPT is that it's a closed model based on all the data we gather from Amazon, because for repricing, you have to be very precise, very accurate. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of complaints from clients. And for the BQool AI model, we have a centralized learning model based on all our historic Amazon cases. And we have a lot of clients, over 100,000 clients in the last 12 years. And then so we have 12 years of historic data. And we also have multiple variables that go into there. So there's actually 18 different factors that go into winning the buy box. The most important is the price. Is also where you're shipping from, and also whether you're an FBA or FBM. So there's different weights. It's kind of like, why is Tesla better than other electronic cars in the market? And it is controversial, but the way they send the electricity, the way they utilize the battery is different. So they're able to have a higher performance than some of the other brands that are out there. Now, when we talk about the AI model, there's also an element that talks about fine tuning. So you want to fine tune the model, and also machine learning that we mentioned earlier. So you want to learn the listing and the competitors of the competitors, and you also learn when you won the buy box and when you lost the buy box, and it goes into this machine learning. So that's why it's intelligent repricing. So you actually reprice up, you reprice down, or you keep around the same price, and you get a higher buy box win percentage. How much higher? In our average is usually around 12 to 20% higher to win the Amazon buy box.
Which is such a big difference over like a month or over the lifetime of a product and stuff like that. And so now we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few specific examples of some of the repricing rules you can do when you go ahead and check out BQool and go ahead and try it out, which is when you're going to connect your Amazon account to BQool, see all your different listings, and then go in and add different rules, minimums and maximums for each product.
Let me share my screen to just show everybody the difference so people could see for themselves about the AI. And then we actually have something even better now. We have like AI 2.0. Miles, what do you know about conditional repricer?
Not a ton. Like I said, I kept it pretty basic so far, but we were talking offline about a couple things. I just want to get it in terms like raising price overnight, some conditional things in terms like raising minimum after a certain amount of units sold, stuff like that, that I like totally need to introduce into my own strategy.
Fantastic. When you're inside the software, this is where all your listings come in and they automatically get synchronized. And also, if you are a client, there's many different support options. You can have a knowledge base. You could also, we have a huge repertoire of video tutorial, like YouTube videos. You could actually find Miles giving us advice as well on there. And you could also chat with support. So we have live chat from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time, 5 days a week. And you also can email us at support@bqool.com. And so right now I'm inside the repricing rules. The way that we design it is we have the active listings that pose in, and then you can apply a rule. So here's the AI equalizer that Miles mentioned, and we also have the AI sales booster. So when you look at this, compared to rule based, you don't have to pick the competitors. You don't have to tell what happens when you get the buy box or how you stay in the buy box. The main difference in the AI powered is there's a lot easier, a lot faster, so you can quickly set up. So here, let's say I pick AI equalizer, which gives me an equal amount of sales and profit. And I'm just going to call this AI equalizer Miles. And I go to the next screen, there's some options that I can decide how to pick. But basically, you could use the AI when the buy box is suppressed or the item condition is used. I want to talk to the people who are selling used products. There's actually two buy boxes, one for new items and one for used items. It's different. Usually for used item, you want to have acceptable condition or above for you to be able to win the buy box. And sometimes you'll actually see two buy boxes with one for the used and one for the new. But today our focus will be the ones with the new. And then you go to next. So you could just keep all these defaults. And then the scheduler is what Miles you asked about. What do you want to know about scheduling? What would you like to know, Miles?
Yeah, I've just heard some big sellers recommend repricing up at night in terms of just optimal to get kind of trigger other people's reprices and such. And I'm, no expert. That's why we're here filming this video and everything. But I'd love to learn a little bit about the power of that.
The idea is this. The idea is that when you sell an item, and let's say I sell it, my max price is maybe $15. And then maybe the item right now, your price plus shipping, which is the price on Amazon, or maybe the buy box price right now is $12. And you actually own the buy box, but you want to sell it at a higher profit, and you know this item is definitely going to sell. So you can actually set a scheduler here. Usually what we do is we're going to pause the repricing between, let's say, 1 o'clock, and then let's say we can enable the repricing again maybe at 4 a.m. here. And I'm going to pick the United States of America, and then the time zone here, let's pick maybe on the Eastern time zone. So I'm picking that between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., I can pause my repricing, or I could set it to my max price minus a certain amount, depending on the listing. What we see a lot of sellers, they like to just put it right to their max price. And then what happens is if somebody have already added the item into their shopping cart, and then they press purchase, then it actually will be selling, and you repriced it, you reset your price to a higher price, then they would be paying the higher price. If they already is in your buy box. It's how it works right now, but it can change. Right? That's kind of like a grayish area, right? Like it's like, oh, I got you. But a lot of the times, like if it's just a few bucks, people, they're fine with it because they don't want to go through the whole process of researching for the product. The second way is if you have maybe less than maybe 10 to 15 offers, you could reprice up. You could reprice to your max price. You could reprice to like your current price on Amazon minus a certain. What I recommend is probably use the max price because your objective is trying to get people to follow you. And then so let's say you own the buy box 50% of the time for that listing. You put to your max price, then it's going to manually reset you back to your max price. And then 4 o'clock starts. Then for a period of time before you're repriced down again, you would have repriced from a higher price. So you could reset it once a day, and then you could possibly get a higher per unit profit item. This again, this is for listings that have probably less than 15 offers. Because if you have more than 15 offers, somebody might just go and take your buy box. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is the repricer here. And then the conditional repricer, this is the setting here. So let me just reset here and then we'll go into the conditional repricing and I'll just quickly tell you about what the benefit is for the conditional repricing as well. So, Miles, what did you want to learn about the conditional repricing?
Yeah, just like show some of the basic stuff that you think would be most applicable that beginners should go ahead and put in.
Okay, let me just quickly share our screen to show you the settings that beginners could use. So inside the software here, the reason why you use conditional repricing, what is the benefits for you as a seller is you're able to automatically switch rules. You could also automatically adjust your min prices up or down
Huge.
to
Yeah.
win the buy box.
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something you're interested in, Miles?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially on like if a listing's cooking, if I'm selling a ton of it, I want it to automatically reprice up and not have to worry about that basically.
When you get to a certain level and you're a busy guy, you might not focus on these little details and you want to set it so that it could do automatically reset the prices for you automatically based on how you designed it.
So one question I had for you in terms of the conditional reprice rules, in terms of stuff that can really benefit everyone watching this outside of just having basic repricing set up, is actually going ahead and repricing up when a listing's doing well for you, right? So like, let's say the other day I popped off, I sold a couple hundred of one specific product, right? I didn't know, but you and I were talking offline that I can have it set up to where my price will increase automatically after selling XYZ amount of product, basically. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely, Miles. So let me share my screen. In the repricing rules, you can go into conditional repricing and then you can select FBA advanced conditions. So I'm going to call this the Miles increase price rule. And then I go to next. Here I have all of this set up automatically already. So if you're pretty new, you could actually just use the defaults here. We have the available quantity. If it's greater than equal to 50, you could determine that to be a specific rule or a specific ROI in your case. So perhaps you got a listing in 50 pieces, and then maybe your ROI, when you have the 50 pieces right now, you want it at maybe 45% or maybe 40%. And then when the available quantity is greater than or equal to 30, then maybe you want to increase your ROI, your min price ROI. So maybe you have it at 45. And then you could also adjust the rule as well. So basically the logic is like this. The more units you have, the more aggressive you reprice and the less minimum price that you have. So the less ROI that you're getting. So let's say you only have like 5 units left of that, then you could select the AI profit booster, which is going to optimize for increase your profits. It's going to keep on incrementally reprice up based on profit. It's going to prioritize profit over sales here. And then for the ROI here, let's say you usually have it at 45%. You could put it at like 55%. And you could add another condition here. And this is the best one to use in your specific scenario is how many units have you sold the last 7 days?
Yeah.
Because just because you have the available quantity doesn't mean that you have sold that many units in the last 7 days. So in our scenario here for this item, usually let's say you sell 50 of them per month. So that means per week, you're probably selling 50 divided by 4. You're selling maybe 12 of them. So if in the last 7 days, you have sold more than 12, then it means that you can have a higher ROI. You won't necessarily win the buy box more, but then you're going to get a higher profit per unit.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to you, Miles.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I had no idea any of this is possible, basically. So I'm learning just as much as the people watching this, basically. We need to do this more often.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, so that's the first thing. And this is talking about popular products, items that you know that's going to sell, that you don't have a lot of inventory. So this is who's it for. And we actually have video walkthrough as well on our channel. So make sure to go check out the BQool YouTube channel that shows you, step-by-step tutorial how to do this. Now, the second thing I want to show you, it's about having a liquidation strategy. What are your thoughts about having a liquidation strategy, Miles?
Yeah, well, it's super important because especially if you're brand new, you're just going to make bad purchase, right? It's part of learning and everything. So you got to have something in place to get that inventory moved, to get that capital put into more productive inventory over time. That's something, a lot of people struggle with. I've kind of gone back and forth about being good with it and being bad with it at certain times. I'm really dialed in right now, which is awesome. Basically, but it'd be awesome to have it automated as well within BQool, which I think we're going to take a look at here.
Okay, so let me share my screen with you here. So again, I picked the FBA advanced conditions here and I go to next. Miles, when do you usually lower your prices? Like if the product doesn't sell? Like
Yes.
how usually for your strategy? Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the idea of going ahead and doing it after about 45 to 60 days, like when I'm really not seeing movement, basically. And once again, I got a lot of stuff going on, so I might not be as dialed in as some other people that do it after around like 30 days or so. But I'm open to kind of digging into the data and for sure and automating the process here.
So let's say in Miles' case, would go into conditional repricing, and then we can pick the inventory age conditions. And for the people who's watching this on April 17th, around that time, Amazon has increased the fees for disposable items and also for monthly storage. So there's now additional fees when you have products over 181
Yeah,
days.
and have stuff,
So
guys. Yeah.
yeah, like they always keep increasing the fees, man. Yeah, but so I'm going to call this the Miles liquidation rule, and you can go to next. What I've just selected earlier was the inventory age condition, and in the next column we have everything lined up already based on time, based on the inventory age. So you mentioned maybe 45 to 60 days you will start to lower your price. So usually in the earlier you said that you need at least a minimum of 30%. Do you lower it less than 30% after that, or how does that work?
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to, right? Because otherwise that product would have been selling, right? So absolutely, yeah.
So let's do an example. Let's say between 31 and 60 days here, we're going to now lower the ROI
There we go.
to 25%.
Yep. Or
And
lower. Yeah,
then
keep it going.
or lower, yeah. Yeah, and then you continue going down lower. Basically, our recommendation for all the sellers is depending on the product, but after 90 days, you should try to break even
Yep.
after
Completely.
90 days. Yeah. And then so here you have 0%. And now we switch to the most aggressive rule, the AI sales maximizer. So basically, the logic is as the product is aging more, you're incurring more and more expenses on monthly storage fees and also on long-term storage fees and also additional fees. They call it additional surcharge now after 181 days. So we'll try to break even. A lot of sellers, they might even go negative. And the idea is you want to have higher turnover. You need cash flow. And this is also very suitable if you have perishable items or even seasonal items. For example, let's say you have a whole bunch of products that you got for Easter, but they might not sell that well anymore, right? Maybe you have a whole bunch of bunnies. They're not going to sell until next year. And it's just taking up your storage and you're incurring fees. So you can use a liquidation strategy like this. We actually have a handout that people could take a look at. We have that special handout right here that everyone could see for overstock items. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and take a screenshot of this if you're watching so you can get this implemented in for your own stuff. Absolutely.
And you could also look at the QR code here for a video tutorial if you want to rewatch this later on as well.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's go to the last part here. We have a very special giveaway that we are having. And
Yeah,
Miles, like, have you been following Mr. Beast? Like, what's he been?
absolutely. Yeah,
Absolutely right. Like,
good one.
yeah.
This is close to as good. Yeah, and for Amazon sellers,
Mr. Beast is giving like $10,000 away if you repost or share on your Instagram, on your story, whatnot. But you have to do something, or you got to reshare. We want to make it even easier for you. Yeah. So all you have to do is super easy. Just follow Miles' YouTube channel and then follow the BQool YouTube channel and just comment. You can do any comment. You can comment what you thought was interesting and funny in our webinar. You can comment what do you plan to do when you're making an extra $10,000. You can comment about any features that you really like for you that would be useful. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Miles? How does that sound?
yeah, that sounds great. Get some free repricing love for some people watching this video and everything. And then once again, if you are interested, go ahead, use the extended free trial link that's in the description. Very lucky to have the 30-day rather than typical 14-day free trial you guys would get on there. So thank you, Samuel and BQool, for doing that for us. So make sure to go ahead, get an extended free trial right there, and enter the giveaway as well. Thanks a lot, Samuel.
Absolutely, Miles. So if you guys don't remember anything, make sure to comment, follow Miles, follow BQool, and also subscribe for your free trial and use Miles' link. You have to use Miles' link to get that $100 value for the free trial. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Miles, for having us on your show. Really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks everyone for watching.
Cheers.
Cool.